Over here. Yeah, over here. Do you know that electricity is super dangerous? Like, really, really life-alteringly dangerous? So if you want to do any work on your house, specifically electrical work, make sure that you're doing it safely. Today on Homeowner Helper, we're going to be talking about non-contact voltage testers. This little tool will help you determine whether or not a wire is good to go to work on or red hot. Stay tuned. Now I know what you're thinking. Why do I need a voltage tester if I can just turn the power off of the breaker? And that's true. You can turn the power off of the breaker. In fact, you should turn the power off of the breaker. But there's a couple things that you really need to be aware of. Now, obviously, the foolproof method is to turn the power off to the whole house, like I can do right here. But I don't really want to turn the power off to the whole house. There's parts of my house that I'd like to stay functioning, like my heat and my refrigerators and the rooms that other people in my family are in. Now, my breaker box is fortunately very well labeled, but yours might not be. So having a voltage tester is a good way to double check that just because you turn the power off of the breaker, that you're safe to work on it. Especially if someone wired something wrong, you've got some crossed wires, and even though you turn that breaker off, that line's still hot. Voltage testers, way to go. Let's get to know our friend the voltage tester here. Now this non-contact voltage tester is made by a company called Ideal. You can find a whole bunch of different companies that make them. Klein is a pretty popular one. They make a lot of electrical tools. This one specifically is a very simple version that I picked up for under $20 or so at Lowe's, if I recall. Now, simple operation. You've got a couple AAA batteries that go in the back here in the pen clip. That's the part that opens up. You got a simple on-off button, and then you have the actual tester portion here. Now, when you turn this on, it's going to beep and it's going to stay lit green. That green light tells you that it is currently on and is actively testing. When you touch a live wire or put it into the charged portion of the outlet, the load portion, it will, as you saw in the beginning of the video, blink and yell at you. Now, one key thing that you need to do, which you'll actually see right here, test on known live before use. So what this wants you to do is basically to double check that this thing works before you count on it to keep you alive. Basically, it's a redundancy. You want to take something that you know is live and will function, test this, make sure that it works, then you go and test your line and then do the work that you need to do. When we're working with electricity, we want to stay safe. This is a simple tool that would help you do so. Back to our friend from the beginning of the video, Mr. Outlet here. Now, we know that before we use this, we need to test it on a known live. Fortunately, I know that this is live, specifically because I haven't turned off the power yet. So let's give it a go. Now, as you saw in the beginning of the video, what you can do is insert it into the load side of the outlet, and it'll yell at you. Now, if you insert into the neutral side, you'll notice not so much. Not really beeping when inserted onto the neutral side. And that's because neutral shouldn't be hot and your load should, because that's where the electricity is coming in. Here's the deal. Sometimes, believe it or not, folks do things improperly. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that sometimes in some strange, bizarro universe, things are not done the way that they're supposed to. Outlets are not wired properly, or the electrics of your house are not wired properly, or your breaker box is mislabeled. So I recommend that if you're going to use this to test the two halves here, that you test both sides and you don't just trust putting it in on the load side and it being green. Now, you can test it like I just showed you, or you can actually test it from the side of the outlet itself. This is actually making contact with the wires and with the connections. Contact with this, not contact by you, because this is a non-contact voltage tester. So let's go ahead and get this open and we'll take a look at that. Now that we've got our outlet cover off, let's go ahead and test it. Now, I have not turned off the breaker here, so I know that this is live. So we're going to continue to test you know it's live, and we know that it is live. Now, you can obviously insert it directly into the outlet, or what you can do is touch it to the side, specifically the side that has the load. I'll bring in here closer so you can take a look. See, I'm touching the side there that has the load. Now, we'll go downstairs, we'll shut off the breaker, and then we'll give it a test. So that way we'll know that it is not live. Down here at our breaker, time to turn off the power. Now I know that the outlet that we are currently working on is in the family room, which is number 23. So we go over to number 23 here, and we say off. That's how it works. Simple as that. Assuming, of course, that that's labeled properly and that's wired right. That's one of the reasons we have the voltage tester. Let's go take a look. I've gone downstairs and turned off the breaker to this room. So as we can see, there is no power coming to the live portions of this. Now, I also said you should check both sides. Both sides, still good to go. So that's how you use a non-contact voltage tester. This one specifically, an Ideal brand from Lowe's. You can also get Klein or other companies through Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, a DIY store and tool supplier near you. Now, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out, and it'll, well, do more of this kind of stuff. Also, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see in the future, some different types of how-tos, so I know what you are looking to see. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I'm Tex Harris with Homeowner Helper, and this has been Non-Contact Voltage Testers. See you next time.